welcome to the show. My name is T, and we are talking scary movies. Blessed be, as we can see today, and I appreciate you all joining me for a brand new review. Remember, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to have some new horror news, an opinion piece, or an interview for you guys to check out. Last week, I got a chance to talk with my man, Kendall Burton of the Terra Nova podcast. We got a chance to chop it up about the Alien franchise, and then I dropped my review for Alien Romulus. You can go and check those out right now, folks. But if you want to stay on top of everything that I'm dropping on my channel, which includes reviews throughout the week for everything in the horror world of movies, TV shows, games, books, whatever, then you gotta get subscribed to my link tree. Hit that subscribe button and follow me to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed to my link tree, that's gonna give you access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms for the audio only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for my written reviews and movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content including movie news and movie premieres, to my Twitch page where you can catch all my horror gaming including The Thing for PlayStation 2 and Rewind or Die, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy 20% off everything in the Fangoria shop including a yearly subscription to the physical magazine. Take advantage, folks. Hit that subscribe button, especially if you're watching on YouTube. As more followers I get, the more content I can put out for all of you. And you know, we just started doing giveaways every month as well too. We gave away some Ghostbusters stuff a few months ago. I gave away a Funko Pop of the Tall Man last month, and this month here in the month of August, we are doing the little golden book for A is for Alien, folks. That is right. If you want a copy of A is for Alien, all you gotta do is comment on any video here in the month of August to be registered for a chance to win one here, folks. Hot commodity. You do not want to miss it. Well, folks, it's Tuesday. You know what that means. It is time for coverage of another episode of Season 1 of Mayfair Witches. Folks, we're now in the back half of the first season. We only have 3 episodes left here to work through on this one. Actually, I'm sorry, 4 episodes left to work through on this one. 3 if we're not counting the one I'm talking about here tonight, folks. But the show has been a bit of a slow burn so far. I'm enjoying the character work in it for sure, but when compared to like its sister show, cousin show, brother show, whatever you want to call it, Interview with the Vampire, it does seem that it is lacking a bit in excitement, which I guess that's what we're getting here in the second half of the season as a lot of shit has started to happen. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right on in here to episode 5, The Thrall. So if you recall, last week's episode, Curiouser and Curiouser, ended off with Rowan taking a meeting with Carlotta at the Mayfair house, and Carlotta, looking for a way to keep Rowan from the clutches of Lasher, decides that she's gonna burn the Mayfair house down with Rowan inside of it. And when that fails, she attempts to stab Rowan, only to end up accidentally stabbing Ciprien, who found his way into the Mayfair house to rescue Rowan. Now, this week's episode has Rowan and Ciprien trapped inside the Mayfair house as Lasher has blocked all the exits as it continues to burn, and we find out that Rowan and Ciprien are trapped in a bit of a time loop. Now, we've seen it previously in episodes here before that Rowan has had fantasies of sleeping with Ciprien, and for some reason, whatever reason, Ciprien seems to have an idea of that. Now it's just kind of interesting to see that that's actually happening in real life. They're both aware of this. And so it seems very clear that obviously Rowan and Ciprien are at the very least attracted to each other, but it seems like there actually might be some legitimate feelings there. Obvious Ciprien is providing something to her that Rowan hasn't really accepted before, because as the show is set up, Rowan tends to deal with all the issues that are going on in her life with booze and with men. Those are vices. Who are we to judge with that, right? And we've seen it before that, you know, she's been propositioned for something a little bit deeper, and that somebody's had wanted to start a relationship with her, but she just hasn't been interested. And so it's that much more fascinating that she's letting Ciprien kind of invade her mind like this and have this kind of relationship, regardless of whether we look at it as being fake or not. Seeing her and Cip up in the master bedroom over and over and over, you know, enjoy their morning and their breakfast and kind of realize what's going on, doesn't change the fact that we're very clearly seeing that emotions are growing between the two of them. And that kind of ties into why the time loop is happening and why they're stuck there in the first place. house. Lasher, as we know, wants something from the Mayfairs. And folks, I've been watching these episodes over and over. I still can't figure out what the fuck that actually is. It's bugging the hell out of me that they haven't just said it, and I feel like it's just gonna come out in like the next episode or two. Oh, Lasher needs this crown. Lasher needs this fucking hamburger. Lasher needs to have this child with a Mayfair. It's gonna be something like that. It's like, just say it, god damn it. Like, that's not the mystery to the show. I'm enjoying it. You don't need to hold that over my head. I'm gonna keep watching, all right? So that's just been bugging me a little bit here, but Lasher clearly wants the Mayfairs for some reason and hasn't revealed that yet. He was doing that with Rowan's mother, but instead now has very clearly turned his sights onto her. And again, I'm still speculating he had something to do with Deidre's death. It very much feels like he wanted Deidre out of the way so he could get all of his sights set on Rowan. And the thing is that he knows that Ciprien cares for Rowan and vice versa, because Ciprien is dying from this stab wound that doesn't seem to just be physical, but in some way metaphysical as well. So there's nothing that Rowan can do, even being a doctor, to help Ciprien out. And as they realize they're stuck in this time loop, Rowan also realizes that Lasher is in there manipulating things as well too, as he tries to pull a fast one on her by convincing her that he's actually Ciprien, and she notices those small details. Now, I will say that this episode did a fantastic job of setting up that Rowan's finally understanding the stakes that she's dealing with here, and that she's getting a hold of what she can actually do. The show hasn't really committed that much to showing Rowan mastering her powers. You know, the first episode was about, you know, her killing her boss and then killing another potential boss as well, but since then, that's everything else has very much been on the back burner. She gets to New Orleans, she's investigating her mother, she's learning about the Mayfair dynasty and everything, but we really just haven't seen much going on with her powers being used. And so, even though it's at the pushing of Lasher and the manipulations of him, it was really nice to see this episode kind of move forward in that front and actually give us some show of Rowan actually trying to use these powers and figure out the way that they're supposed to be used as well. I thought it was far past time to get that going, and regardless of how the episode ends, this is good progress. I'm really, really hoping the next couple episodes focus on maybe Lasher either showing Rowan how to use her powers a little bit more succinctly, or Ciprien maybe figuring out a way to show her how to use that as well too. But as Rowan is learning a little bit more about how her powers work, we find out that Lasher, while he is manipulating and controlling a lot of these events from behind the scenes, Rowan also plays a role in this as well too, as we see that Rowan's kind of controlling a lot of what's going on. Lasher takes her around in a few different journeys across time to see some important moments from her childhood. Lasher's able to let her see like interactions like with Carlotta as well too. And they're all there to really push and train Rowan to really use her powers kind of for evil. Like, it seems like Lasher very much wants her to use them to kill people and like use that anger, and that maybe she'll be corrupted enough to where he can finally get everything out of her that he wants. We don't know that 100%, but that's the way it very much seemed to be set up, as we find that Carlotta is still alive, that Lasher has her held captive, but then it turns out maybe it's not necessarily that Lasher that's doing it, but it's Rowan subconsciously using her powers to hold Carlotta captive. So that's a very interesting point that's coming out of this, and I feel that, well, if that makes Lasher the key to her powers, she can't just avoid him, and she's going to have to really engage with him more and more as we come to the end of season 1 of this show. I liked also that it showed that Rowan finally wasn't allowing herself to be manipulated by other people as well too, because she did see through Lasher and decided to basically tell him like, look, like, our deal is you get Ciprien out, I'll stay in the house, which he does. But then even after doing that, Rowan goes back on the deal because, quite simply, she doesn't want what Lasher wants out of her. And Lasher's pretty confident he's going to get it, but Rowan is not going along with that easily at all. She's getting smart, she's getting confident, she's getting herself to a place to where she can really advocate for herself, which is really what she needs to do, or else all these people are going to continue just taking advantage of her. Ciprien, on the other hand, once he gets transported from the house, ends up getting some help from the Talamasca. But what's interesting though is the fact that when his sister finds him in his place, like mortally wounded, like when the Talamasca show up to save him, he tells her that that she needs to go hide or it'll be worse for all of them. And I mean, it makes sense that a Talamasca would probably tell their agents to not have ties with their family anymore, but it then also puts them back into like a very, very interesting context here, to where with Interview with the Vampire, we very much wondered what was their actual, like their actual end, what was their buy-in, why did they care so much about Louis and Lestat? And this makes it seem more and more like they too are also manipulators as well. And speaking of Interview with the Vampire, I don't know if it's in the books or not. Y'all will have to tell me in the comment section. I did find it a little cheeky though, that the previous Talamasca agent that Ciprien gets to talk to in the house while he's locked up there is named Stuart Townsend. Stuart Townsend, who famously played Lestat in Queen of the Damned. No, they're not the same person, but I thought that was humorous though, and I like to think that is an intentional nod to Queen of the Damned, not just the character. If this scene happens in the book, that character is named Stuart Townsend, but it probably is. Who knows? Who knows? Either way though, folks, I thought that was super fun. Now, the episode definitely ends off with, again, Rowan taking charge and being able to advocate for herself and freeing Carlotta and trying to get out of the house again. But when she finds out that Carlotta isn't as innocent as she's made to be seen, which I know at the beginning of the season, I speculated that maybe Carlotta would turn out to be on the good side of things and that the show was just kind of setting her up to look worse than what she actually is. But no, it turns out Carlotta is actually fucking terrible and she has the die, and Rowan, who is just done with everybody controlling her, everybody lying to her, and everybody trying to use her for their own good, Rowan uses her powers to throw or force Carlotta off the second floor balcony of the Mayfair house to her death. And we don't know what that means ultimately, because that's another Mayfair down at this point. And is this playing into Lasher's hand? Because Lasher clearly wanted Carlotta dead. Lasher didn't seem like he himself was able to do that. Even though he's been doing all these other things and he has killed other people, it doesn't seem like Lasher was able to kill Carlotta for any reason, so he needed Rowan to do that. So I'm very curious to see how this plays into what Lasher wants and what that means for Rowan and the use of her powers. This is only getting more and more interesting, folks. I'm excited to see the way this turns out, and now that Rowan is using her powers more and more, that's making the show instantly more interesting. So stay tuned. We got more to go through. We still have 3 episodes left here to go through. We're going to finish that out here by mid-September, of course. So keep tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, folks. I got more great stuff coming up here. We still have more Alien reviews coming out for you this week. And then we got a whole mess of new stuff that we got to hit as well, too, including Strange Darling, Stream, Humane. You got a lot of stuff, folks. So I appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. But that's it tonight. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared. Here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022 and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/ThermalScaryMovie. Again, youtube.com/C/TheronReynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.